to this. Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jonathan Flora, and I'd like to welcome you to the Yolo County Fire Safe Council meeting for Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. Second action item on the agenda, and if you thought you were displaying anything, Tanya, yep, you weren't, is to approve the agenda for this meeting, unless we have any late additions. I'll look for a motion and a second, and then we can get that approved.
Move to approve.
And I will second. So that's, I think, Don, that was you
Don,
first, right? All right.
That was my
Okay.
role.
Ladder second.
Yep.
All right, motion and second. All in favor of approving the agenda as prepared? Aye.
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 Any opposed or discussion? Nay. Hearing none, agenda is approved. Next item is to approve the minutes from the May 27th meeting, which was sent out last Thursday in a email from Tanya from RCD. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review those.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Jack.
I'll
I
be
second the
thematic.
motion.
Gladys will second. Nope, sorry. Somebody else, whoever else was talking, you take it.
It's Moira.
Is it Moira?
I second the motion.
Moira seconds.
All right, we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 27th. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, all the motion is approved. So we're now on to item number 4, which is member announcements and news. So anybody with a brief announcement that isn't already covered on the agenda?
This is Ian with Yolo County Housing. It's only about 5 weeks out, but National Night Out is coming up the first Tuesday of August. And like past years, we are hosting a National Night Out event at our El Rio Villa site, just on the county side of Winters, our Yolano Donnelly public housing site in Woodland, and our Las Casitas public housing site in West Sacramento. So if you or your organization want to table at the event, provide resources, it's a great opportunity to get information out to our public housing residents. We cook hamburgers, hot dogs, sodas, chips, all that good stuff for them. Typically, the last several years, Winters Joint Unified has donated backpacks for the kids at El Rio Villa. So that's always a big draw. And we've had, about 7 to 15 different organizations, depending on the site, participating and getting resources out. So I'll drop my email in the chat in case you don't already have it. But we love to get different organizations out to share information, provide resources to our residents. Thanks.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Hearing no other announcements, we're on to item 5, which is the special presentations from Glenda Grange and Rumsey Hall, and I'll let you take the process on that, Tanya.
Okay. So just a little background. So when you receive the coordinator report, we have our 14 projects for this funding that's overseen by this body, the Yolo County Fire Safe Council. And sometimes we entertain additional projects like we did with the Knox boxes. The Esparto Fire Department had asked for locks. I guess they were Knox locks, not Knox boxes. And we approved funding for that. So my understanding is that the Grange and the Rumsey Hall are interested in being a safer or making a safer, more comfortable place for people during emergencies, including wildfire. So they're going to tell us a little bit about their ideas. And I think I'm just going to turn it over to them. We'll go in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Gwenda.
Hi, everybody. I'm Megs. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So Gwenda has put together a project summary for a rural fire protection and community resilience water access program, as well as um community access or community center for emergencies. The basis of that being is that the Grange already works as a community and event center within our area, and would just need to increase certain aspects of the Grange to accommodate being able to accommodate more people during emergencies such as uh, high heat events, fire events. The things that we had looked into were um, if we had a wish list, this project would establish a 30,000 gallon water access system at the Western Yolo Grange. The bare minimum is a 2 to 5,000 gallon portable water tank, but if we increase to a 30,000 gallon water access system, which the fire department was excited to talk about, it would act as a hydrant. Basically, it's a replacement hydrant. And as many people know, living in our rural communities, that's not something we have access to. I don't actually even believe the fire department has one. So it would increase the establishment of the larger water storage would increase both protection of our local area. It would reduce delays caused by limited water availability to our local fire department, support the fire personnel, strengthens effectiveness of local fire services. Insurance wise, I'm sure everybody in our rural area knows insurance is hard to come by these days. So it contributes to improve fire protection rating and may help to reduce homeowner insurance costs. As far as we've been able to assess, it would help to reduce the homeowner insurance costs. And of course, protection of agricultural assets, such as farms, equipment, and local economic activities, which are primary agricultural in our area. Secondary resilience building sets that we would like to do as well are to have a backup generator to ensure continual operations during power outages, because our valley never gets power outages, never. To support the local community during that time and to work as a safe harbor. A HVAC or improved HVAC system, again, to provide clean airspace during wildfire and smoke events, and to provide refuge, in particular for elderly community members during our high heat incidents that are very common for summertime in the valley. And then just overall would make the Gwenda Grange a emergency support, increase the emergency support capabilities for our community. We did go out and get some quotes regarding the HVAC system, a Generac system, and a water tank. I have the quotes for the permits, but where it's kind of up and down on the actual price of the water tank. But to kind of depending on which size would be going for. Did you want me to go into some of the quotes on the system, or discuss further why Gwenda would be a great point of support during emergencies?
Does anyone have any questions before we go into the quotes? Kate?
I think this is really exciting, and I might have missed this in there, and I know Jesse and I had talked about it, but improving accessibility, like ADA type accessibility in Gwenda. And so I don't know if that's part of this discussion, or if one of the other attempts to get funding for that has been successful.
For the ADA accessibility,
there had been some mention of that at one of the meetings. We didn't bundle it into this one. It had been, we had discussed making the Grange, trying for a grant to make the Grange an emergency center. Last year, I think, Jesse, if you can remind me.
I think
Um,
earlier this year too, or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that would overall, it does have ADA accessibility. I believe the bathrooms are ADA and the ramp for the front door would just be about a little updating certain
Okay.
things.
Okay,
Great.
great.
I think the only thing that you guys are missing, Megs, is actually like a concrete handicap parking spot that gives access to the ramp. I think the gravel parking lot is really the only thing screwing you guys up over there.
Okay. Yeah. I
Oh,
remember there was
great.
something, but I couldn't remember exactly.
Okay, terrific. Yeah, because I couldn't remember where things were with a ramp or bathroom. Great, thanks.
Any other questions just in general on our proposal or ideas before I go into the budget?
All right, I'm gonna ask another one. And sorry, this might be another one that if I missed it, I apologize, but provision of medically necessary electricity, is that something that would be possible within this, or is this one just focused like really specifically on the water?
No, the water, the Generac, which would be electricity
Okay, great.
during power outages. And then the HVAC for
Oh, okay, great.
yeah.
Great,
For,
great.
yeah.
Terrific.
So,
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that people would be able to like charge their devices, that it was
right. And that's the idea, is you make it an emergency hub where
great.
people can go to do all those things. Right now, when PG&E is out, we've got those little tents down at the post office, which is
Yeah,
not really you can stand here in the shade in 110-degree heat and charge your phone.
right.
So making it actually accessible for more people, especially our elderly community, and someplace they can go to in those high heat events and those and especially if we have fire events with smoke and HVAC system purifying the air. Yeah.
That's great. I'm having a hard time containing my enthusiasm for what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? I'll just go briefly into some of the budget quotes we've been able to receive. As I said, the 30,000 water access system, it is a large water access system. We haven't been able to establish a quote on that except for the permits just yet. But as we said, it would be functioning as a non-traditional fire hydrant to support the emergency responses in rural water limited region. Permit quote on the installation is 1,800. And then it's just about tank size. If we were to downgrade to your standard 5,000 potable water tank, which would just increase the availability of water for the Grange, not working as the non-traditional fire hydrant or community fire hydrant, where even I believe the fire engine trucks could fill up from that. Then we were looking more at the lower side was the 5,000 for a just water storage. Looking at the greater 30-gallon water access system. We had gotten one estimate out of Santa Rosa. But it wasn't confirmed on the price. So that one's adjustable, the depending on how far we can go with the size of it. Things are a little bit more concrete. The backup generator, the Generac, our quote is, I'm gonna round to 2,500, it's 2,450, with an $1,800 county permit. And that is through Thompson's Heating and Air proposal. Oh, sorry. No, that one is through one that's on my email right now, which is on the screen. The Thompson Heating Air proposal is our HVAC system, and that I'm going to round up to 40,000. to have the HVAC system installed. Of course, our HVAC system is fairly old, so it'd have to be a new system installed. We do currently have a Wi-Fi system at the Grange, that we keep open at all times for people to access if they need any Wi-Fi communication or if that. Just adding the HVAC and the backup generator would make it a heat resilient site as well. And I can draft these a little bit better and send them on in, or if you would like me to give an actual paper form of draft.
What was the quote you guys got for the Generac?
The Generac was 24,500, 24,500, 24, but I just put it up to 25 plus the 1,800 permit from the county.
Got it.
I feel it's always better to round up a little bit.
Right. And do those quotes include tax?
That Generac actually, let me look because I have it here in front of me. Remote use.
Was there
It doesn't say whether it includes tax because the actual device itself is 18,000, and then it's just the service input, like the service to the air ducts and electrical. So it doesn't itemize the tax out of it because the tax would be a little bit different.
okay? And is the permit for the HVAC also 1,800?
Yes,
Okay.
Nancy got those for us, and then
Basically
both of them
1,800 per thing. Okay.
for improvement permitting on those.
Okay. Well, let's process that in our heads and have Kathy give her presentation, and then we can kind of look at things together. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Yeah, and though the one thing with our proposal is we're kind of looking at the bigger end, and of course the proposed system is practical and scalable, depending on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, Kathy.
Okay, hi. I'm Kathy Soimatsu from the Rumsey Improvement Association. We own, maintain, and operate the Rumsey Hall, and we're interested in providing an air-conditioned and air-filtered space where people could fill water bottles and charge devices and relax during a wildfire emergency. So we.
Kathy, if I may interrupt,
Yes.
could you speak up? You're very quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does that sound better? Or do I need to speak louder?
My guess is your microphone level might be a little low.
Oh gosh. I don't know how to deal with that. Can you hear me okay now? Okay, thanks.
I can hear you.
Just let me know if I'm not loud enough. So we in order to provide a space like that, we also got quotes for a Generac propane generator and a heating and cooling system to augment our current system and an air filtration system. So our quotes, so we got a quote for a Generac 26 kilowatt propane generator that would cost $24,500 for materials and installation, and a 3-ton mini split installed would cost us $10,000 and $10,250. And an air filtration system unit with installation would cost us $2,250. we are very much also interested in providing a 30,000 gallon water tank system. And I did not get quotes for that. We don't have the property to place that on our property. So we would need to get an easement from our neighbor, which we have done in the past for our septic system. And I just wanted to get feedback from the Fire Safe Council before starting to do that. So I would be happy to look into getting an easement and to get a quote for their water tanks. And then another thing that I thought would be helpful for a water would be to provide filtered water. So I did not get a quote for that, but I would be interested in hearing from you if that would be something that you would like to fund. I'm sure it would, not cost very much, like $1,000 just to provide higher quality drinking water for the community during emergencies. And so that was another thing that we were interested in doing. And I sent Tanya the quotes and a little write-up of the proposal. If anybody wants to see that, I can also send it to you. Do you have any questions?
There it is.
Kathy, maybe we should look around and see if we can get a 2-for-1 deal on everything.
Yeah, I know. A lot of the quotes are the same.
So are you guys both basically trying to do the same exact thing? Just one in Rumsey and one in Gwenda?
Yes. Basically, I don't know. Yes, I think that our proposals are similar.
The proposals are similar. Gwenda we set ourselves up last year to act as just a emergency hub. We had put in the Wi-Fi and support system to support a wider broadband should people need to come there to charge their phone or get out of the heat. We have the established already working HVAC system. We just need to improve it. The 30,000 gallon tank, we have the room to put that on the property at this time. And we updated our septic system last year. It all rolls into one to be able to qualify when we were looking to qualify as a emergency hub. But yes, very similar. I agree.
And I think that hardening these community facilities in the Cape Bay Valley was listed as one of the tasks or priorities on the CWPP that we did. So is why I recommended that these guys come out and talk to the Fire Safe Council.
Yes, that is true. Kate.
Yeah, Kathy, I'm going to express enthusiasm for your project as well. And I really think this is great. And a similar question in terms of accessibility. I can't remember what Rumsey's ADA type accessibility is in terms of folks being able to get into or use the facility there. Can you give just a brief overview?
Yeah, we have a ramp. We do not have a concrete pad for a handicap parking space, but we do have a ramp that gives access to bathrooms and the hall.
Great. And I'm just going to say with bathrooms, because it's kind of a party foul if you like go someplace and you go in to use the bathroom and and you can't actually close the door if you're in there with a wheelchair. And so I'll just put a plug that it's great when there's a bathroom that's large enough to accommodate a wheelchair coming in and the door closing. But no, this is I think these are really exciting projects.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
So,
both would be, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just saying, both would be very exciting projects, especially for, our primarily rural community where we do get a ton of power outages. Have at least once a year where we're all experiencing smoke exposure, and have a heavy elderly community that just needs some support. Yeah, not only during the summer, but also during the winter months.
And I know with a SEMS committee that I'm on, that basically there was a lot of discussion from the access and functional needs perspective about wanting to make sure that there was planning for air quality and high heat situations. And so I'm really delighted that both of these take that into consideration as well.
And then I have a clarifying question. Kathy's, unless I wrote it down wrong, Kathy's quote for the generator was 24,000 and Meg's was yours the same? I wrote 2,500.
So the actual system itself was, I'm just gonna again round up a little bit, 1900, 18,264. But for like the, it was about 2,000, same as Kathy's for the filtration system. And then improvements to the duct alteration and sealing was another 2,000. And then the electrical supply line change was 900. So the overall quote pieces put together was the total of 39,665. So 40,000, because it was adding all the components together. I think the price for the actual device itself was oh, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the HVAC. Were you asking
Yeah,
about the
I was
generator?
asking about
Sorry.
generator, yeah.
I just noted that. I was like, when she gave her HVAC quote, I was like, yeah, that's similar to ours. No, the Generac was the 24,500, 24,500. And then the permit 1,800.
Okay.
And
Got it.
then,
Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
that one was that's a straight quote.
Okay.
And I have one and they work lovely and I really like them.
Okay.
I think.
So that we don't have an action item for today. We just wanted to hear what you guys had to say and offer, and thank you for the quotes. Just so you know, we have I'm going to share my screen for the projects that we have are mostly fuels reduction work, but we also have other funding to do that. We've been working a lot around Rumsey. We're doing grazing, lots of fuels work, Rumsey ditch. And then we have left in our contracting budget, which this would come from, we have about 178,000. So that's what we're working with. What I'm thinking is to put together a little menu of these different options in a nice spreadsheet. And then we can revisit that at our next meeting and sort of pick and choose what kind of things we want to fund, because these are big chunks. So that would be my suggestion. Dawn, do you have a question, comment, or suggestion of how to move forward?
I'm very enthusiastic about these projects, and I think they'd be great. I think it'd be helpful to know how many people are likely to be using these facilities, and both of them, they're not terribly far apart from each other, so how they'd interact with each other, that kind of thing. And also it'd be helpful to know who else they're getting funding from, so that we can kind of see where we fit in this.
That is a great question. And actually, that leads me to there is a Cape Valley Extreme Heat Plan that is being created. and there's sort of an advisory group which are called champions. So Jesse and I are champions, and Micah Bennett is also a champion on this Fire Safe Council. So they are doing a plan, and then they're also going to be applying for an implementation grant. So the thing that I'm championing is resilient centers in the valley. So at our next meeting, Gretchen James from Valley Vision, which is a nonprofit that's doing this work, is going to give us a presentation about the Cape Valley Extreme Heat Plan. And we can ask her for the workflow and the timing and all that as well. So there is that. And then as Meg said, I want to say it was 3 years ago, John Capitanio applied for a PG&E grant for a resilient center for Gwynedd. It was, and that didn't get funded, but that was a lot of the basis of that work.
Yeah, that was 2024. I think I was reading through
Oh,
that
okay.
earlier in the week.
So that sort of answers your question, Dawn.
Tanya, may I throw something in there about Dawn's question?
Please.
Dawn, great question, by the way. Those two facilities are in the same valley, same community, if you will. And they are not separated by huge distance, but neither one of them is a huge building. So we are limited by space requirements, occupation requirements as well. So given our history with, for instance, the LNU fire, it would have been a challenge and a half to use just one of those buildings to support the community. So both of them are going to be critical unless we get monies and land to build something massive. It's always going to require the two of them to support the whole community. The other challenge that we have is a lot of our senior members of the community are not mobile. So asking them to somehow get themselves another 18 miles down the road to the other hall or the Grange is a little bit of a challenge. We do have a few volunteers who actually go and pick up seniors and bring them to the resilience centers or wherever it is that has been set up, but there's just a handful of those. And during an actual fire incident where there may or may not be evacuations involved, both those buildings are going to be important, given that one of them is probably in the evacuation zone.
Great, thank you. So it sounds like going forward, we'll hear more because these are major projects and they're not going to happen overnight. We can hear more from the Valley Vision and also make a nice spreadsheet for people who like to see things all laid out. So Megs, if you could send your quotes over, we can do that. And then to answer Dawn's question, the number of people that you think would use each separate center. So does Moira's comment make sense about, people traveling distances? I think that would help clarify things.
And the number of max people that we can have use each center as well. Because
Yes.
Unfortunately, and Jesse can speak to this, our buildings are older and limited in space.
Yeah.
So that was a good point about Moira, about the fact that, the max amount of people we can use for those spaces.
So the maximum occupancy. Yeah, so that, and then the community that may use it. So those would be good bits of information to have. And then we can just continue to chew on this.
Yeah, we can get that over. Do we need to ask to be part of the agenda of next meeting?
We'll put you on the agenda. Well, okay. I think, Megs, I don't have your email, but I did add Kathy to my email list. Yeah, and we usually set the agenda a week or two ahead of time.
Okay.
So yeah, it'd probably be good to have that, we'll discuss it. So yeah, it'd be great if you could be there.
Okay. And I can get my email through Moira maybe
Yeah.
or something. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Regular reports then.
Okay, regular reports. We have Chief Close here from CAL FIRE.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm out at Puda Fire. We're doing suppression repair right now. It's going good. Some updates. Dooryard burning, residential dooryard burning is banned for the rest of the fire season, but we still have some broadcast burning going on. Last week, we approved a broadcast burn for Yochadehi, and today I inspected and approved one for Dunnigan Fire. They'll be doing most likely this weekend. And throughout the unit, we have a lot of broadcast burns still going on. We're at full staffing. Not a lot of region activity going on. We had a little lightning scare come through last weekend, but it had enough moisture that it didn't develop into much. We have one fire going on in Modoc and the BLM with a little bit of CAL FIRE help and nothing from this unit. With that, end of the report for CAL FIRE, unless there's any questions.
Excellent. Thank you. So I saw our old friend Kurt Johnson pop on for a second, and I know he is in the meeting. And usually we have Christopher, but Kurt and I were the first people to sit down and try to figure out what a fire safe council and a CWPP was way back when. So good to see you. We'd
Thanks
love
for
to
having
hear
me.
your OES report.
Yeah, no, nothing to update. Chris is on vacation still. He'll be gone until the first of the month. He's been gone for a month on vacation for his 1 year anniversary. So, but there's nothing. It's all quiet since the last meeting. So unless there's questions, that's it.
Yeah, any questions for OES?
Kurt, are they flying that job posting yet for the perm position?
Not yet. Are you trying to get rid of me already, Jesse?
No, man. I just want to know how much longer we've got left.
No, I don't know. But talking with the CAO and deputy CAO, it sounds like they want me to stick around after the time comes.
Cool.
So, but yeah, nothing yet.
Hi, Ian. Kate, do you have a question?
No, I can follow up
Okay,
another time. Thanks.
cool. Well, Kurt, good to see you. Moving on to RCD reports, of course, always lots going on. As I mentioned earlier, we will have the Gretchen James from the Valley Vision or is it Valley Vision? Will be giving us a presentation on the Cape Valley Extreme Heat Plan, and that will be really good information to have. In terms of project updates, I made a little proposal to the California Conservation Corps, who did the amazing work at Dry Creek and Winters, to do some weed whacking and other fuels reduction at the confluence where Dry Creek goes into Puda Creek, which is a fire hazard spot. And so that would be time TBD, but it would be hand crews doing limbing and thinning and weed whacking. And then another project in process, our wildfire awareness signs. We have not forgotten about those. We've ran into some permitting snags, but we're working through them. But hopefully that will be happening in the next month or two, where we'll get our signs installed at the high fire areas. Another in process is the contract grazing around Rumsey is going on now. And folks who are getting their properties grazed, it's very targeted, sort of covers a lot of the open space grasslands area in the Rumsey buffer area. So that is going going well. We're happy about that. And then we completed the grazing at Gray Pine Ridge. The sheep got moved in the day before the Puda fire, so that was a bit of a nail biter, but everything is fine. And I was out there today and it looks really good. They didn't level the grass. There's still bunch grasses and but the fields have been dramatically reduced. You can see the fence line from the tall grass to the medium grass. So that is it's always good to complete a project. In terms of the grant updates, so CAL FIRE has released a bunch of different grants. There's one called the Wildfire Prevention Grant, which we have gotten funding from in the past. So we're looking at a smallish grant in partnership with Colusa RCD. So they would do some defensible space work around a small community, and we would do some work maintenance along some of the east-west roads that go from the Cape Valley up to the Blue Ridge, strategic, small, narrow roads. And then there's some regional grants that we are partnering with. There's an Allie, maybe you could talk more about the ICC, the Intercoast Collaborative Grant, but we're also did an application. So there's a nonprofit called the California Association of Resource Conservation Districts, and we've had several block grants with them. They ask for a big chunk of money from a funder and then distribute it to RCDs, which is win-win for everybody. So they're looking at doing that. And I put in for a new bridge at the Bobcat Ranch. So we'll see how that goes. That's been on our CWPP. I think that was the first project to be submitted. And then, yeah, Allie, do you want to touch on the regional, the RFFC Intercoast Collaborative grant?
Sure, yeah. Truthfully, I haven't been able to review it in depth, but it's the CAL FIRE grant program is a landscape health grant, which ties in really well with the regional priority planning that's happening right now through the Intercoast Collaborative initiative that is Yolo, Solano, Napa, Colusa, and part of Sonoma counties. Hopefully, I got all those counties that are in it. And yeah, the grant application for this landscape health grant would kind of fall along the lines of what's in our regional priority plan, which right now just consists of a compilation of projects from every county's CWPP. So that's kind of the update. Like I said, I haven't gone through. Folks are our partners in Lake County and Napa County are kind of spearheading that. And I know that our grant writer here at our Yolo RCD, Kate Reza, took a look at it just earlier today. So that's still in progress, but it's underway.
Thank you. I think you gave much better explanation than I would have. And then speaking of Kate, she sent, I'm just going to share my screen really quickly, an opportunity that sounds exciting with a quick turnaround. It opens August 3rd at 9 a.m. our time and will close after 300 applications are received, likely on the same date. And I put the link in the chat to our grants grant spreadsheet, so you guys can check it out on your own time. But it's a one-page application, so not really odious. Applicants must be a government unit of a city, town, county, state, Commonwealth, District of Columbia, possession of the United States. Oh my gosh, or a 501c3. You also have to submit a W-9 with your one-page application. So it's a $5,000 grant which will be awarded to improve fire department's response. Includes funding for technology, training, equipment, and other critical components. So it sounds like pretty easy, but also very competitive. And I could forward you this Kate's email if you're interested. So I'm going to stop sharing that and Um, turn it over to Allie for a Prescribed Burn Association update. Unless anyone has any questions about that grant.
Okay. So for PBA, I have a flyer. Oh, I was going to share my screen. Tanya, can you give me permissions? We're planning a PBA barbecue. Is this showing the, okay, yeah. We're planning a PBA barbecue. We're calling it PBA social. We've done this in years past. It's just kind of a sort of end of burn season, even though we didn't really get to do any burning with the PBA this year. But it's an opportunity for folks to get together to talk about prescribed burning and learn about the PBAs. It's a partnership between the Yolo and Solano PBAs. So Bailey and Elizabeth will be there. Those are the prescribed burn coordinators for both Yolo and Solano counties. And then added on to this event, we're hosting it at Lake Solano County Park, which burned in the 2020 LNU complex fire. And so we're doing a post-fire recovery walk as well that's going to be led by folks at Solano RCD, the upper upland area. I think they're calling it Beetle Point. Has been rejuvenated, replanted. You can see some plantings here in this photo by Solano RCD, and so it'll just talk about fuels management and post-fire recovery, and obviously include some plugs on prescribed burning, which could possibly be happening out there in the future. So once this is up on our website, I will send everyone the link through, Tanya's email. We'll have the link if you're interested in joining. It's on Saturday, August 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're thinking that parking will be paid for. So there is typically a parking fee, but we'll cover that just to get folks there. And yeah, it starts with the post-fire recovery walk and then ends with the barbecue potluck where folks are encouraged to bring a dish. So if you're interested, please sign up. And yeah, like I said, I will send over this flyer with more information later. And then other PBA updates. We are looking to put on the firelighter training, which we have done in years past with Napa, Yolo, and Solano partnership. That is partially an online training to just kind of get the basics of what goes into prescribed burning. And then there are field days that'll be offered in each county. So that's something that'll be happening probably in late August, early September. We need to solidify locations and dates. So I will, once that is more finalized, I'll send that out if anyone's interested in getting some prescribed burning training. And then as for outreach updates for the Fire Safe Council, the only thing I have is we did have a chipper day today. I think we got to all the properties on the list. We had 5 properties, a couple up in the valley, one in Zamora area, and a couple in Winters. We did have one property that did not stack their piles according to our guidelines. So just a reminder that if you're submitting a request for chipping, to make sure that you're reading our website so that it makes it easy for our crew to feed, the branches and debris into the chipper. And then we are hoping to have another chipper day in July if we have enough interest. Right now, I think we have 3 properties on the list. So we usually aim for 5 properties or more, depending on how small piles are. And so if you're interested or if your neighbors are interested, please feel free to share that information. It's on our website, yolofiresafe.org. And then, outreach wise, we filmed a prescribed grazing video up at the Rumsey Grazing Project. We were going to do it at the one in Winters, but the fire prevented us from getting access to the site. So yeah, we will have a prescribed grazing video hopefully in the next couple of months for everyone to see and share to promote prescribed grazing in Yolo County. And I think that's it for me, unless there's any questions.
Awesome, thank you. You didn't mention address signs, which have been slowing down, but I wanted to let folks know that I'm going to be, for people in the Cape Valley or anyone, I will be out at the 4th of July celebration making address signs. And now like to turn it over to Karen, who from Solano RCD.
Hey folks, not a ton going on our end at the moment, other than also working with Yolo on a bunch of the things that Ali mentioned through the PBA. So excited to see those coming to fruition soon. We are still working on permitting for some tree removal work. Every time I think we're finally getting closer, it's another bit of stepping back and renegotiating. So been a process. We have our biochar kiln loan program up on our website. So if you know somebody in Solano County who would be interested in turning some woody material into biochar, we've got that tool available. It's on our website. I will drop the link into the chat box. That's also where you can find the information about our Fire Smart Grazing program. And lastly, Solano RCD does have two positions related, or one related to fire open, and then also a restoration program manager position open. I'm dropping the chat through that into the chat box as well. If you know somebody who you think would be great working in this sphere in fire, please send it along to them and tell them to reach out with any questions. That's it for Solano.
Awesome. Thank you. Going down to our Community Fire Safe Council, it looks like it's the OG, Capay Valley, Pleasance Valley, and West Winters. So Moira, could you give us an update from your Capay Valley Fire Safe Council?
No, nothing to report today.
All right. Pleasance Valley. Oh,
We're doing another work party over at Sylvia's, and we're adding one more person onto the D-Space cleanup list, aren't we?
We are, yes, those are in July, both of them. One property has to be hit again because of our late rain. And the other property is new to our list, and it happens to be up in Rumsey. That's our first defensible space project in Rumsey.
awesome. You guys rock. Thank you. Pleasance Valley, I saw Leanne pop on here. Are you still here, Leanne? Oh, yes, no, maybe. Oh, okay. Ken, are you available to give us a little update from West Winters? You're muted. There you go.
I am now unmuted. I'm actually unofficial here since I'm no longer going to the board meetings. So all I know is what I see going by my email, which is people are planning stuff to do for the Firewise community, and everyone's being encouraged to be Firewise, and the certificate's been sent out, and hopefully people are using it. So yeah, other than that, I don't know what's coming up because I'm not that much in the loop anymore.
All right. Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you. I think we are wrapping up, so that leaves us a few minutes to make the major decision of whether we want to have our July meeting, which there's 5 Wednesdays. Do we want to have it on the 4th Wednesday, which is the 22nd, or the last Wednesday, which is the 29th of July?
Personally, I don't have a preference, so I'll defer to the rest of the team.
I vote for the 29th.
Kind of like that. That gives us a little more time.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I have it in my calendar as a recurrent event, and so I have it in as 4th Wednesdays, and just have to kind of look for that. And so
exactly, that kind of messed us up in April, where we also had 5 Wednesdays.
But I don't have a strong preference between the two, but I think it's great if we plan on meeting in July.
Jonathan, do we need a motion?
Well, we need a motion, so somebody make one.
Do you want a motion that we meet that our July meeting be on July 29th and that we adjourn this meeting?
Yes.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Yes. And I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any additional discussion before I call the question? Hearing none. Do we have a motion to have the next meeting on July 29th at the usual time and to adjourn this meeting? All in favor? Aye.
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 Any
Wishing
opposed?
everybody a happy July 4th.
Yeah, and any opposed? Nay. Thank you. And thank you, Tanya, and everyone for joining today, and we'll see you July 29th.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan.